Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I got lost track of time in the hot tub.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Rob. I'm here with Mike and Joe. This is the Hogs, Hops, and Hope podcast. Hot takes, cold beers, zero credentials. Thanks once again for tuning in. I guess the biggest news is the news that we've been avoiding for the last few weeks. And I know we'll get to the hops in a second. This is just so big, we need to start with it, and that's Terry talk. And
Should we celebrate with our beer?
should we have a joint toast?
Yes.
Planta.
Salute.
Cheers.
So Terry finally signed a contract extension. It is a 3-year extension worth, depending on who you ask, either somewhere between $0 and $700 gazillion. I exaggerate, of course. No, it's a 3-year extension with a base of $87 million. So that's an average of $29 million a year, with $44 million fully guaranteed at signing. And so basically what they did is they guaranteed his salary for this year, which I figured they were going to do all along. First of all, I should say that I was wrong. I didn't think they'd reach an agreement this year. I was wrong. I fully admit that. But I was right on the next part, and that was that if they did sign an agreement, that it would be around $45 million in guaranteed money. So They guaranteed this year's salary plus this $30 million signing bonus that we already knew about, and then $12.9 million next year. And what that $12.9 million next season is, so this would be 2026, is a base salary of $2.9 million and $10 million in bonuses. And that's I forget what the bonuses are, but that's where he gets to. The guarantees are 44.65 total is what it really amounts to. And what this comes down to is they say it is a 3-year extension, but it's really more like 2 years extension, and then we're gonna go through this again at that point.
But that's 3 years from now.
3 years from now, we're gonna go through this exact same thing all over again.
Yeah, but then he'll be pushing 33, 34, 33.
Yeah, going to he's
be done.
30. He's 30 now. He'll be 31 next season when the extension kicks in. So we're gonna get 2 years of the extension, so that's 31 and 32. And then as he's going into his year 33, we'll be looking to do this again. But that we can worry about that later. The important thing is that Terry signed, and his ankle injury apparently is no longer an issue.
All good. He was back out of practice today. Crazy how that worked. What a coincidence.
It's a miracle.
He was running around, and he was asked about the ankle injury, and he said, that's just somewhere it's going to stay between me and the trainers. So
did he really say that?
Yes.
Oh no.
So anyway, so Terry's back at camp. Yes, and he was practicing today. He was out on the field with the team, and the goal is to ramp him up. We got 10, 11 days before they play their first game against the Giants. 11 days or so.
Something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So hopefully he can get back into football shape and be ready for game one. I'm going to make an assumption that you guys are both happy about this. I guess my question is, how happy are you? Do you care about the numbers at all per se? Where he might rank among other receivers or any of that? Or are you just happy that it's done and we don't have to worry about it for 3 more years.
Go ahead,
Mike?
Mike.
I mean, look, I'm happy it's done. I'm not, I think the numbers are nothing crazy off from what we've been saying for a long time. For me, it was what was the guarantee, um, which I'm okay with the guarantee. Like, you
Well, because you
know,
don't have to pay it, so what do you care?
well, that's a good point. Yeah, you're right. They probably could have been 74 million. I'd be like, I'm okay with the guarantee. Not coming out of my pocket. No, I think numbers are good. I'm glad it's done. I'm glad it's done. I'm glad we go into this last, just under 2 weeks before the first game without this distraction anymore. So I was happy to see that done.
Okay. Joe?
Yeah, couldn't agree more with that. I was a little surprised it took this long before they were able to lock it in, but we did hear. Are they rumors? Are they facts that he was looking for 35 and the team was looking for 25? And I mean, that was a big difference. I think we always thought 30 million was like the magic number that they should have been at for the yearly salary. And I guess it makes sense to meet in the middle there, but I'm surprised how much he thought he was worth because 35 sounds really high for him.
Well, we talked about it last week, how the report came out that he was looking for DK, he was looking to be better or have better numbers than DK Metcalf. And again, we don't know where those numbers came from. We talked about it. Did it come from Terry's camp? Did someone from the team leak that? Was it made up by someone? Who knows?
Well,
But that, I figured the team was offering somewhere closer to 27. How I came up with that, I don't know. It just seemed like a thing. Yeah, most people, the average fan, I guess, on the internet, at least as far as I saw, was figuring somewhere around 30 as the average. He comes in at 29. He does have incentives where it could get up to, he can add several million on top of this. Things like he gets a $300,000 bonus if he gets 83 catches. If he hits 1,097 yards, he gets a $300,000 bonus. If he gets 10 touchdowns, he gets a $300,000 bonus. So these are bonuses that he can earn on top of his salary and all that. So right there, that's basically another million close to that, puts it at 30 million for the year. So I don't think he was asking for 35. What am I basing that on? I had nothing. Just
yeah, but everything we've heard before here, he asked for 35, they wanted 25, they wanted 12. I don't know, they probably would have been happy to pay him $1. None of that matters. Like,
right.
Yeah.
That's
true.
that was all noise. It was a distraction. Like I said, I mean, it's done and over. He's signed. So do we care about that shit we heard back then?
No, now we don't care about the shit. We care that
Right.
Terry's playing.
That's right.
So
we still don't care about something.
okay. But what I care about right now is what you all are drinking. So Joe, I'm going to go to you first. What are we drinking?
Yeah.
Tonight?
So tonight, I had a multi-pack of Shock Top. So last week I had the lemonade, whatever it was, and then this week I have the Shock Top Belgian White.
Okay. How's that? You like that?
It's delicious.
Okay.
The lemonade
good.
last week was a little odd for me, but I enjoy a Shock Top. So
Okay.
we'll have to
Mike,
see what next week has because it was a 3-pack or
okay.
a multi-pack.
Gives us
So we'll
something to
see
look
how that
forward
is.
to.
There you go. Little tease for next week.
There you go. That's what I like. What do you got, Mike?
All right, so I'm back up north. So back in New Hampshire. Not a New Hampshire beer, but it's for Burlington, Vermont. It's a Switchback. It's not going to show it.
It's whatever. We'll post a picture. It's all good.
Yeah, whatever. Switchback Ale. It's just
okay.
Just an ale. Pretty good. Like it. When I travel, I like to get something local. Try it out.
All right. So I was going to have a repeat beer today until I saw that there was a liquor store next to where I was having lunch. And so I went in and I got this. It's from Trustworthy Brewing Company here in Burbank, California. It's a showroom ready hazy IPA. And I got to read you this description on the can because this cracked me up. Hold on. I'll go put the readers on for this. It's always exciting driving a brand new car, and this hazy IPA also doesn't disappoint. Crack open the can and out pours a beer with a light golden color and a total lack of transparency. Fresh and juicy hop aromas fill your senses. followed by a light and pillowy texture and a very light bitterness. This is a hazy IPA you will come to love. So, so, so that is my hazy IPA.
You're not supposed to crack that open while you're driving, right? Because there was a correlation between driving and drinking at the beginning of that.
Well, I think that's a little bit of a gray area if you're in the passenger seat or the back seat or something, but don't quote me on that. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just pre-med.
Just on Hops, Hogs, and Hope, we do not condone drinking while in a moving car, whether you're driving or not.
We are not legal representation. We are not a law firm.
So, and how is this beer?
It's not too bad. It's a 7.4 alcohol. So it's not like some of the 9 points that I've had or the 9.9 that I had one day. It was just, and it is a 12-ounce can, so that's a little better for me. But the Trustworthy Brewing Company is a place that I've been to a couple of times, and I do like their beers, the ones I've had. So it's nice. It's like I said, it's 5 minutes down the road for me. So
okay, nice.
Okay, so we got that out of the way. We got Terry Talk out of the way. Terry Talk was actually a positive thing. So the other big news this week was Cutdown Day, which was Tuesday. So we're recording this on Wednesday, the 27th. Cutdown Day was yesterday. And so all the teams had to be down to 53 players. Now, mind you, this is not the final roster because they could still make changes. They could still cut somebody. They could sign someone else that someone else cut. But and I'm not going to read the entire roster, and name every player. There were a couple of surprises, and I'll start with this. What kind of surprised me maybe a little bit. One is that they did go with 3 quarterbacks instead of 2. Josh Johnson is the 3rd quarterback. Marcus Mariota has an Achilles injury that I guess they're maybe not 100% sure that he's 100%. God forbid something should happen to Jaden. So I guess having Josh Johnson as your 3rd quarterback is kind of I guess they're unsure about Marcus, and that's their way of covering their rear. They only went with 5 wide receivers. Most people anticipated 6, so that's where they could pick somebody up. Sam Cosmi was put on the PUP list, or he's still on the PUP list, I should say. And so by staying on the PUP list, he is required to miss the first 4 games of the season. And then there's
it's like a 21 day, right?
So he has to miss 4 weeks, and then there's a 5-week window where they can say he has like 3 weeks to practice, and they can see where he's at. And if he, then they could activate him at that point. Of course, then they'd have to cut somebody after activating him. But the big thing is he has to miss 4 games right off the bat, regardless. So, Joe, we've talked about this. You mentioned what Coach said, that he thought Sam could be back by week 1. Well, obviously that's not happening. He's going to miss the first 4 games. So as far as the roster, then on top of that, nothing else really surprised me. They kept 9 offensive linemen, 8 defensive linemen, 7 linebackers, 5 corners, 5 safeties, 4 tight ends, 4 running backs, which we knew was going to happen after they traded Brian Robinson. So I guess, do you all have any opinions about, was there someone that was cut that maybe you were surprised, or maybe someone that made the team that you were surprised, or is this kind of like, well, this is what it is right now, and yeah, the practice squad, and we'll talk about the practice squad in a second, but yeah, I mean, this is, I said it before, we probably could have predicted the first 48 people with ease of who was going to make this team. So what do you guys think about the roster and where we stand now, especially knowing that Cosme is going to be out for at least 4 weeks?
I gotta
Joe,
say, like looking through,
what you
yeah,
got,
just
Joe?
looking through the names that were cut,
Yeah.
I didn't recognize it, very many of them, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And so because of it, there's no surprises. The only name that really stuck out to me that I barely noticed was Sam Hartman, but that's not a surprise considering how he was playing in preseason. Not to
Right.
shit on the guy, but it's like, hey, he didn't play well this year, and so it's not surprising he's gone. But that was really the only name that jumped out that even was a familiar name to me.
Yeah. Well, there were a couple people that were cut. Let's see. Ja'Cory Brooks, some people thought would be the sixth receiver. And some thought maybe Jacoby Jones could have been the sixth receiver just as an outside shot. And then Michael Dieter, who's a backup center. So they don't have a true backup center on the roster currently. They have people who can play center. Allegretti has played some center, I believe, and I think he would be the backup at this point. But yeah, those are some of the people that kind of stood out as people that some thought might have a shot at making the team. So
I guess I forgot that it was after our last show last week that Robinson was traded. So as far as this is concerned, it's new.
well, no, we covered that.
No, he's traded on the
Oh,
22nd.
yeah. Okay. You know what? You're right, Joe. However,
Thank you.
we did, when we talked about it, we just assumed it was a done deal. Like it was,
I know because he didn't play, he was
yeah,
benched, and he didn't have a
right. It
locker
was,
and things like that.
but
I know.
technically, no trade had been announced as
Oh,
of
it wasn't official.
yeah.
Right.
That's all. It had been announced the trade was going to happen. It just wasn't official.
Oh, I don't even think we knew he was going to San
No, we
Francisco.
didn't know it was the Niners. It was
Yeah. We knew he was being traded, like
we
because
were texting about it before after it happened, and we talked about the grand scheme of things that we got rid of Robinson, we got Debo when we traded a sixth round for a fifth round, or vice versa. Traded a fifth round for a sixth round.
We traded a fifth round for Debo, and I thought what I said on the show last week, and of course now I'll have to go back and look. What I thought I had said is I repeated what Nikki Javala said in a tweet, and that was that basically Washington traded Brian Robinson and a fifth rounder to San Francisco for Debo Samuel and a sixth rounder.
yeah, that was on Friday. You texted that. That's what Joe's talking about, the text.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think we need to do more shows so that way we can stay up to date with everything.
Nobody watches the shows we put out now.
I mean, last week we were congratulating Taylor Swift on announcing her new album, right? Or was that 2 weeks ago? And now we can congratulate them on their engagement, right?
Okay, so let's talk about that for like 5 seconds so Rob can put it in the tags and maybe we'll get some stuff. Travis and Taylor got engaged. That's very big news in the football world.
It really is.
It really is. I mean,
Okay.
you wonder, are they going to change some of the scheduling now so Kansas City can be on national TV 17 weeks in a row?
Well, and I already saw some memes where they were showing Travis Kelce wearing a new jersey that said Kelce - Swift. And I was thinking, like, if he pulled an Ocho Cinco and changed his name, man, he would make millions of dollars on those jersey sales.
Well, the question I raised to a couple people is, who made who sign the prenup?
Well, she's a billionaire. He's not. So
Okay, so we got that out of the way. But let me go back to, I just want to clear this up because I'm partly for my own mind, the pup list and Cosme. So players placed on the pup list must miss at least the first 4 games of the season. After that, teams are allowed a 5-week window to evaluate the player's health and decide whether to begin a 21-day practice window. During that window, a decision must be made to either activate the player to the 53-man roster or keep them sidelined for the rest of the season. So that's where we are with that with Cosme. I just wanted to. I brought that up, so I wanted to clarify that.
And the pup list would be a minimum of 4 weeks, correct? So, like after the 4 week time period, at any point during that time, they could start the 5 week process, right?
Correct. And activate them at any point during that. But they have a 3 week window, 21-day window to evaluate.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Fantastic. Look at us. We're covering news.
So, and we're educating. We're educating. That's important. We may have people who are just like they're casual fans and they're trying to learn stuff, and maybe this isn't the best place for that, but maybe it could be.
It's not.
Definitely double check anything you learn from this podcast. But
maybe if we had a couple credentials, then perhaps you would be a reliable source. But zero. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
My credentials on this can. All right. So with Cutdown leads to the practice squad and the players that got put on the practice squad. You guys brought up Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman was added to the practice squad.
He was? I missed that.
So
good for him.
You're right. Now, unfortunately, by adding Sam Hartman to the practice squad, his hair takes up an additional slot on the practice squad. so they're going to be a little short on that one. But they have 14 players on the practice squad. They did some of the players I mentioned earlier. Ja'Cory Brooks and Jacoby Jones, wide receivers, are on the practice squad. Chris Moore is also a receiver that's on there. Sam Hartman, Michael Dieter, the center, and a couple other players. Jalen Holmes, the defensive end. He's someone that some people thought might have a very outside chance of making the roster to begin with, but no such luck for him. I'll post a picture of that of the practice squad list. That used to be called the taxi squad originally, because back in the day, way back, one of the owners, that's what he would have some players that he had a taxi company hire and pay them to not drive so they'd be readily available if he needed them. And once the other owners found out about that, they started doing it. And that's why originally the practice squad was called the taxi squad. That's what it was called back in the day.
No kidding.
There's a little bit of history there for you.
Hey, look at that.
See,
it's good to have somebody on hosting this that lived through so much history.
Yeah, when was that? In the 80s and 70s? Like,
you know what? I love you guys. I could feel the love even across the country. God bless you both. I knew there was a reason I wanted to do this podcast. So, I mean, that's all the big news that happened this week. Obviously, the Terry signing the extension, so it's not a distraction. I think we all agreed that he was going to.
It was the 1940s.
So you did live through it, Rob.
What, when it started, or how long was it called the taxi squad until?
It was invented in the 1940s. I don't know.
I said it was invented a long time ago.
Holy cow, man.
I looked that up.
Oh boy. All right. Sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Jeez Louise. God, man, I lost my train of thought. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Sorry.
And I'm not even on the big, powerful beers. I'm on a 12-ounce beer, and I still don't know what we're talking about anymore. Let's see. What we talk? Oh, so we hit the big three news topics, I guess, of the week. With Terry signing, again, we all thought he would be playing week one. We didn't think he would miss time. We didn't think he would miss any games. We all knew he would be there week one. So the big thing about him signing,
I really thought they were going to have him sign sooner and he could get to practice more. And now we've got 11, 12 days, whatever it is that he's got to practice. And it's like, he better damn sure be ready because he's been screwing around all summer. I'm going to be pissed if he.
Well, I mean, what do you
Doesn't
think's going to
perform.
happen? Is he's going to if he drops a pass somewhere, everyone's going to say, "See, there you go."
No, I'm not going to be that critical.
But if he comes out and week 1 against the Giants, he has 7 catches for 115 yards and a touchdown, everybody's going to say, "See, the team should have just signed him and given him what he wanted to begin with because this is what he does." That's going to go on all season long. All season.
Yeah.
He drops a pass and people say, "See, he's not worth $30 million a year." He catches 2 touchdowns in a game. See, they should have given him $35 million a year.
Are you saying that Washington fans react to what happened in the last 5 minutes and nothing else? We win a game.
No, I'm saying they react to the 30 seconds and nothing else.
Yeah.
That's the attention span of the average Washington fan is about 30 seconds.
That's fair.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Exactly. Unless they're arguing with Eagles fans and then they have this fucking magic memory that they can recall every single thing. It blows my mind.
They threw snowballs at Santa. I will never let that go.
Everybody knows they threw snowballs at Santa. We also know
fans in the NFL.
We also know that Philadelphia was the first stadium to have a built-in jail to house people during games. So I guess maybe the other little bit of good news that came out of Ashburn today, specifically today, was that Noah Brown practiced. So there was a lot of talk about how Jaden's got his top 2 receivers, and now the receiving core looks a hell of a lot different. Instead of starting Jalen Lane and McCaffrey, now we're looking at starting Terry and Noah Brown, and that's a pretty big step up from the other 2. One's a rookie, and the other is a second-year player that didn't do anything his first year. So, with that being said, are we more excited or optimistic that now that Terry is signed and it's not a distraction, now that we know that Noah has at least practiced with that's a big part of the offense, are we a little bit more optimistic about this season, or are we just like, oh no, it's the same because we always knew Terry was going to play and we kind of hoped that Noah would be available and we still don't know if he's going to get hurt. So Mike, I'll go to you first. Does that change anything as far as your outlook for the season?
No, not really, because I think what you just said is right. Like, I kind of always thought Terry would be there and didn't think Noah was bad and thought he'd be back. So I really kind of expected both of them to be there anyway. So it doesn't really change anything for me.
Okay. Joe?
Nope, no change. I assume they were both going to be there.
Yeah.
So I'm 10 more days. We can make it. We're so close to the season starting.
I will admit that I was a little worried about Noah Brown being ready. And there's still a week and a half that he could hurt himself again. You know, yeah, it doesn't change my optimism level, I guess is the way to describe it.
Well, that's because yours is so low to begin with. Like,
it's not that bad. It's not like I'm sitting here saying they're going to win 7 games.
Not yet.
I would have said that last year. No, I think, I know we don't do predictions. I think
we would have been happy.
500.
We would have been happy if we had 7 games last year, but considering the year before we only had 3 or 4.
Right. And when they have that type of season, we talked about this very early on when we started doing this 6 months ago. Which, by the way, we've been doing this for 6 months now. This is like I think our 26th show.
Okay.
Real show.
Week and a half out from the season starting, we don't do predictions. What were you just going to say though? Do you
What's
have
your
a
prediction?
what do you think?
Well, we already know I have no credentials, so what I say doesn't matter.
That's right. It doesn't. None of this matters. It's just a
But
fucking opinion.
you all attacked my pessimism slash lack of optimism. So
How
I'm
many?
defending myself by saying I would have thought they would have been over 500 regardless.
Okay.
I'm not predicting a total number of wins, other than I would have thought they would have finished over 500 based on performance from last season and the changes made. We have talked about the changes they made and how we feel about said changes. We just did. So I don't think I'm making predictions per se.
No, you're not. I agree. You're not. Are either of you willing to go out there and say, I think they're going to win 10 games this year?
I'm going to say 11.
Okay. Rob?
All right. I'll answer your question, but are you doing it like a betting way where you're saying the over under is 10.5, and do I think they'll be over under that, or are you saying the over under is 10, and where do I think that's going to fall?
I'm just saying, do you think they'll win 10 or more games?
So that'd be a 9.5 over under
Yeah. Well, it
for
could be a
them betting.
9.9. I don't.
Yes.
I do too. I think they will win 10 or more games.
They will win double digit games. Yes. I
Okay.
if I was a betting man, I would place a bet on that.
But okay, just to take it one step further, though.
No, we've gone far enough. No, go ahead. Just kidding.
If they don't win 10 or more games, are we disappointed, or are we, panicking, or because like at what's the threshold where it's like, oh shit, we got to blow this team up and change everything and fire Dan Quinn and get rid of Adam Peters, and like,
look, that depends on how the game's go. I feel like there's more nuance to just the win-loss in that regard. Do you blow the team up? Like, do they win, 8 games and have 8 games that are really close?
that's true.
We talked about this before, because we talked about their record in one score games, and their percentage of converting fourth downs and how important that was, and things like that, and how last season could have, they were 12-5 last year, could have easily been 8-9 or 7-10, very, very easily. And so I actually raised the question to you all about this on our previous show of what do you consider more important? Like, well, maybe not the exact question, but of making the playoffs or double digit wins, because they haven't done that since the early 90s. They haven't had back-to-back seasons of making the playoffs or double digit wins. And if they didn't do that, would it be a success? And, I've always been of the mindset that, look, going to the NFC Championship last year was great. It was fun. As a fan, that was wonderful. We haven't experienced that type of thing in a very long time. But I've always been hesitant about that, because now that becomes the standard. For a lot of fans, that becomes the standard. If we don't go that far, then it's not a success. I've always been one who says, I want to see the development. I want to see players keep getting better. I want to see the team develop. I want to see Jaden play better than he did last year. Yeah, I know he put up these out of the world numbers and all that type of stuff, but he still made a lot of mistakes. Yeah, he was a rookie. I get that. Yep. But I want to see him improve. I want to see the offensive line, which was one of my biggest surprises last year of how well they played, at least the beginning of the season. I want to see them play. I want to see the defensive line. We've made all these changes. I want to see them show some cohesiveness and actually be able to stop someone from running the ball. So I want to see that development. So even if the team, like we all just said, 10 wins at a minimum, if they were to hit 8 or 9 wins, but the team is playing well, they have a tougher schedule. Let's not forget that. They're playing better teams than they played last year. If they get blown out 35-13 by the Giants, then maybe I have some concern. But if they lose to the Eagles in Philly, 35-31, and the team plays well, okay, I'm not one for, empty wins or whatever, whatever. But I want to see the team play better. I want to see that cohesiveness grow, and just see these young players that we're going to have to rely on here. I mean, this is the big thing. We were talking about Adam Peters and his ability to draft. He has 2 drafts. We need these players to develop. McCaffrey has to develop. Sinnott has to develop. Otherwise, we're going to end up in the same thing that we dealt with the last, well, not the last 4 years, but the 4 years of Rivera, where he couldn't draft the right player. Even if everybody said, this is the guy you have to draft, he was still going to draft the wrong guy. So I just want to see development on the team. And if they don't get to 10 wins, well, I'd be disappointed. Sure. But will it be the end of the world for me? Not if the team is playing well and I see growth as a team. And I step off my soapbox. Rob's rant is over.
No, it wasn't even
Actually, I think I said the same thing when we did bring that up. I was going to say I don't remember it, but as soon as you started your rant, I was like, wait, that sounds familiar.
Look, I like to give Rob shit, but that was not a rant. That was a well thought out TED talk, really, is what we're looking at. So,
well, blind squirrel. So, no, I hope they make the playoffs. I've said this all along. I've always hoped they make the playoffs. I hope they can win the division. I hope they can have double-digit wins. But in past seasons, I haven't been optimistic that they could, especially going back to the last regime, which I had zero respect for. And now that we're in the second year of Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury running the show, and Adam Peters, that okay, I still haven't fully bought into them, because it's been one season that they've done something. It's last year was the second season of Josh Harris and company owning the team. It was the first year for the new coaching staff and the new general manager. Okay, great. They did pretty good. But in the NFL nowadays, any team can do pretty good one season. I want to see double-digit wins every season. I want to see them make the playoffs every season. I want to see them challenge for and maybe win the division every season. I want to see them go far in the playoffs every season, not just a one-hit wonder. And I've said that all along. So that's what I hope for, and that's what, to me, what will be success, rather than, hey, great, if we make it to the NFC Championship again this year, but then the next 2 years we're back to 3, 4, 5 wins a season because whatever, then who cares?
Yeah, which we've talked about that too. It's, it takes 3, 4 years to really see if what they're doing is going to stick and be long term.
Yes. So, okay, so we made a pseudo prediction of that. We all think that they will at least reach 10 wins.
Correct.
All right. So, is there anything else we need to take care of for this week?
I don't think so. I think we can save our Matt Gay talk for next week, and
and maybe we'll touch on fantasy football next week. So next week we're going to do a show next Wednesday, as we always have, and then the NFL season starts a week from tomorrow. The season itself starts a week from tomorrow.
We made it.
So, as Joe gave a tease about what he might be drinking next week, I'll give a slight tease as far as next week. We'll talk a little bit about what hope at that point will be the final roster. again, the teammate, like we have to remember last year, this was the time where the team signed Noah Brown. So something like that could happen again this year. And then we'll do our version of a preview of the Giants game, of the week 1 game against the Giants. I don't know what that'll entail because we've never done that before. So
I was
And
gonna say, you're
again,
gonna have to give me a heads up of what that is.
and again, we have no credentials, so
we have no
knows?
credentials. And so we will figure something out about what to talk about the upcoming game. And maybe our expectations for that. It's funny, we talk about not doing predictions, but I always go back to the old Redskins report way back when George Michael used to do it with Sonny Jurgensen on NBC4. And it was funny because every week, they would talk about the upcoming game, they would talk about the opponent, what to expect and all this. And at the end, George would ask Sonny, what's your prediction for the game? And every single week, Sonny, of course, picked Washington to win. Now, Sonny never thought the team would go, at that time, 16 games. He never thought they'd go 16-0, but every week he picked Washington to win. So now we may end up going down that road where we all pick Washington to win every week because, well, we're Washington fans and that's what we do. But we'll talk about it and we'll see what happens and we'll make it up as we go because it's worked so far for 6 months. So you guys got anything else you want to add? Last chance.
Nothing else.
All right. So for those of you that can't wait for the NFL to start in 8 days, you do have college football this weekend if you care about that. I know there was some college football last weekend, but there is the full slate of college games starts this weekend. So if you need to practice watching football, then watch Saturday, watch college football. If you don't care, then don't watch and go touch grass. And until next week, then, bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Well, we didn't even mention the shit ass preseason game, 3rd preseason game.
No, we sure
Probably
didn't.
a very good reason that we didn't mention that.